IKEA furniture is extremely easy to put together, and everyone who says it's incredibly confusing must be kinda dumb. For some reason it's a popular opinion on the internet that IKEA furniture instructions are incredibly complicated and undecipherable when they're actually extremely simple. IKEA furniture has one of the clearest and most straightforward instructions for putting together furniture. Every piece is clearly identifiable. Every step is shown with clear visuals and labeled in the order that you should do them in. They somehow manage to make the visual instructions so good that they don't need to use any text at all. I don't know how you could be confused by anything. Literally just put the pieces together like in the picture and you're done. I actually agree with this. Some people are just stupid. It's hilarious that you posted this, and I absolutely agree. I just put an IKEA cabinet together yesterday and I was remarking about how easy it was to put together. I think my exact words were, "At least the instructions are idiot-proof." I can't believe that they wanted $80 to put it together. There are people who struggle to cook scrambled eggs. Some people are too stupid to operate on their own. I recently assembled a coffee bar where for the first time in all my IKEA purchases the holes were not drilled correctly. I'd assume it was related to manufacturing issues during mid-COVID. They shipped replacement parts direct after pushing back hard, as my closest IKEA is 1.5 hours away. Given the amount of people in the world lacking an internal monologue, I would agree. Shish. I charge these people money to assemble their stuff. I'm not sure this is unpopular. Who the hell is finding it hard? IKEA instructions are so basic. 100% agree. I furnished my whole house with IKEA. When I told them at the till that I'd be assembling it myself, they thought I was crazy. The instructions don't even have words. That's how simple their stuff is. From what I understand, it's not that they're hard to put together now, it's that they used to be. IKEA apparently years ago was notorious for not having clear diagrams and oftentimes not including all of the screws, dowels you need to even build the thing. That's what I've heard before. In my lifetime it's always been simple. In my job, I regularly have to put together furniture from different retailers. IKEA is by far the easiest to assemble. Last week I built an entire IKEA filing cabinet, and that was quicker and easier than building a wooden planter box from another retailer. We learned how to follow IKEA-type instructions from Lego. I don't know what the issue is either. My only problem with IKEA furniture is I always end up breaking something because particle board sucks. They're not dumb. Some people just really aren't good at those things, that's all. It's like dyslexic people suck at spelling. But they aren't dumb, their brain just doesn't work that way. I'd argue it's just as dumb to assume someone's dumb because they aren't very good at one specific skill. I recently bought some sideboards and side tables from Amazon that had pretty bad instructions, poorly translated, mislabeled parts, etc. The reviews were all terrible, saying it took 3 people 10 hours to put it together, they couldn't figure it out, they sent it back, etc. But I liked the look and the Amazon warehouse price was great, so I bought it anyway. If you take 5 minutes to look at the pieces and think about things logically, you can figure it out. They're made to be easy to put together. And I freely admit that I tend to have spatial problems sometimes, like I can't part my hair while looking in a mirror because I'll brush the wrong way. So if the instructions for assembly aren't facing the same way as the pieces I've laid out, I have to reorient myself or turn the instructions upside down. But I still never have issues putting stuff together. The IKEA furniture is typically easy to put together, but the instructions are not always straightforward and it can take a few minutes to figure it out. Honestly, it's so easy that I've considered that if I ever burn out of my job, I would happily be an IKEA furniture assembler. I worked at IKEA for 4 years. My mom's been working there since 2014. It's not that the furniture is hard to put together. I find that some people are overconfident or have too much of an ego to ask for help, use the instructions. We used to have customers complain to us about how difficult it is to put together. Then we'd ask them if they'd used the instructions. You can call IKEA if you have any questions about assembling furniture. The person answering the phone, usually, is familiar with how it's all put together. I'm not sure about the pricing today and if the Rona has affected any of this, but we also used to have a service to assemble and install everything in your house. I think it was $25. Most of my parents' house is furnished with IKEA furniture. It's a real shame that I moved to a city without an IKEA. What is your background? I spent 5 years working with hardware engineering, and I agree IKEA is a joke to assemble, but I found it was hard for some people who aren't used to assembling hardware. The directions have definitely gotten easier in the last decade or so. I remember when I was younger I definitely struggled with it, but I recently put some together with no issue. But it's mostly just a meme. According to a recent MIT study, the intellectual level of the world is going down. And with the advent of social media, people are becoming dumber by the day. A lot of people can't be bothered to read or look at instructions for anything yet get confused when things go wrong.